The issue that Olumide talked about is the same question of the Fly Nigeria Act. I think while it is desirous and it's necessary to build the capacity of the domestic airlines that are even flying international, we must note that we are in a liberalized environment, and it's a deregulated environment. So while it is good, necessary for us to have Nigerians who are in the public service patronizing Nigerian carriers, the question you would ask yourself is that, which destinations are these Nigerian carriers flying into? Do we have services that are seamless? You may fly a British, an Arik Air. Your destination is somewhere in Asia. You want to fly Arik to Dubai. Then from there, you are making connection to how seamless would that connectivity be? Now, one of the challenges our international Nigerian airlines that are going international are having is because they have not been able to key into major alliances. And that in itself is a problem, is a challenge. So nobody wants to have broken journeys. You go on one leg, then you have problems having connectivity. So until we are able to evolve into some of these Star Alliance, One World Alliance member, a lot of airlines, if we're able to do that, it would make that idea of Fly Nigeria Act very, 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 very good for our country.
All right. Thank you very much, Elitrus. Who you wanted to weigh in on?
Yeah, just on two things. On the call concerning Nigerian Airways staff. Yes, there might be some abuses somewhere along the line, but staff traveling with the airline is a norm in the industry. Now, for those staff you see, if you are not on official duty, you must pay a percentage of that ticket. Again, remember that the airline was owned by government. So most times we had government officials, agency officials, aviation agents, all having the same ticket that the Nigerian Airways staff is holding. So you assume they are all Nigerian Airways staff. And there will be no time where you will drop a revenue paying passenger for a staff ticket. It's a norm in the marketing department that you must carry all your revenue passengers first. And if there's an extra seat or a vacancy, then you put a staff ticket. And that staff ticket will be somebody from Cameroon Airlines, which we will also give, because the national carrier, we give rebate to, you give someone from Ghana Airways. And you know, once that aircraft is flown, whether there's somebody on that or not, it's perishable. So putting somebody on it does not hurt. So it's not as if the Airways just opened the cabin and load them up with the Nigerian Airways staff. No, we have government agencies and government staff that come and collect rebate ticket. And those things contributed anyway to those low revenue things coming from Airways then. Now, coming to what Mr. Elitrus said now about the Fly Nigerian Act. Mr. Elitrus, you do not need to fly the Nigerian airline to fly to every point in the world to start the act. When the Americans started, it was only one airline that was flying out of America. What you do is, if you are going point beyond London, then you can take another airline. But if you are just going to London and there's a Nigerian airline on that route, you take the Nigerian airline. But if you're going to a route where there's no Nigerian airline, you can take any other airline. And this is only for those who are flying on public funds. Not from the state, federal, local government, and all agencies, even the institutions, anything owned by government. You fly a Nigerian carrier, once the Nigerian carrier is on the route you are going to. But if you're going to point beyond there's no Nigerian carrier, then you can take any other airline. That's what the rule says.
Okay, Mr. There's a tweet here that says the airline operators do not want the national carrier because it's going to affect their business. I'm trying to get the exact way. Dilek says most Nigerian airline owners do not wish for a national carrier because it will affect their businesses.
Well, I will have to wear two caps at this point. One, I have to be a Nigerian, and two, I have to be an airline operator. As a Nigerian, I want something that Nigeria can do and do successfully. And that is why I've been talking about looking at the fundamentals. Of course, as an airline operator, it's welcome. You can bring in someone for competition. But you compete in a space where it makes sense. If we welcome someone to join in the bloodbath that is currently going on in the airline industry, we're losing money because of several things. And we're saying correct these things even if you're going to get to the point of doing a national carrier, but at least start this process, fix the problems, you can continue to plan for the national carrier, and at a point in time, you start it. But you don't start a national carrier in an environment where you currently have a lot of distortions, as we currently do.
You just described what is happening as a bloodbath. I mean, how much is the, should I say, the structure of our airports? How much is it playing in this bloodbath that you're talking about? How much role is it playing?
It plays a significant part, again, because you look at an airport like Lagos GAT, where you have one screening point. You have ARIC and Air Peace operating from that terminal. And they have about 8-9 departures in the morning. So between 6:30 and 7 o'clock, you have this backup of passengers trying to go through security, trying to make it on board the flights. And then they eventually get on board the flights for 7 o'clock, 6:50 flight. You get on board at 7:10, then the taxi at about 7:30. Then you have about 14 airplanes lined up trying to take off from that one runway. And before ARIC starts his day, they already have delays. Before they start their day, there are already delays. And then we come and say, oh, look, ARIC is very inefficient and all that, not realizing that there's a problem with FAN. And FAN is unable to provide the infrastructure to make sure that ARIC processing is done in a way that makes them go on time. Because once you have that first delay in the morning, it takes a while for you to catch up. And then you find flights extending late into the night, and then Nama say you can't go into an airport because it's daylight. It's daylight operation. So you're constantly going crazy trying to arrange your flights, trying to reschedule and see, okay, which airplane am I going to pull from here to there? And sometimes you walk up to the customer care and ask them, when is this flight going? They can't give you an answer because there are so many things that's going on.
Mr. Nwayo, when the Bill of Rights came out some time ago, I think we were celebrating here when we discussed it. How much of the Bill of Rights are actually being effected right now?
Well, I think it boils down to the passengers, because they just tend that once they go through this horrible experience from the airlines, everybody to take their bag and go back to their houses, and some just maybe bang the table, quarrel with the airlines type, and walk away. But you see, there must be a report. You must make a report, and you must follow up. When you make a report, you follow up, then you get a decision from the NCA concerning customer service. They've started it. One thing, it is only the public that will tell us whether that process has passed or failed. And I remember sometime this year, before the last minister left, there's a website now, a Aviation website, that shows the airlines their performance, and you're allowed to come in there and click and put your complaints, so that people they can use that opportunity to deal with such airlines. And I just hope Nigerians will key into that too. Okay.
Now, we have to wind down now. Any tweets?
Oh, yeah. I was actually looking at this one's from one of us. Bosun says, the national carrier will operate alongside other carriers in the sector. Why can't we get some simple things done? Mr. Elitrus, you want to weigh in on that? As we wind down, what should be the way forward?
Well, my opinion is that it is desirable to have a national carrier because the benefits are innumerable.
Or airline.
Considering the challenges of our domestic carriers, they are unable to even utilize the routes that have been assigned to them under the BASAs. And but then, what is worth doing is worth doing well. What I would subscribe for is a model that would bring government and some private investors together as equity stakeholders in the carrier, but that Nigeria as a country should participate actively in the running of the business.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Dada.
Well, the position I still hold on to is that the government should tackle the issues that are pressing now. The national carrier can be a concept which will be developed over time. In the situation where states are unable to pay salaries, government infrastructure is suffering, I don't think government should get into the business of one, investing, and two, even if you are going to look for investors, they will not put their money in the system as currently constituted.
Yeah, I go back to it that I would prefer to have a national airline run and managed by institutions and investors, Nigerian investors and foreign investors.
Run as a business.
Run as a business. Then the Nigerian government supporting it through concept and policies and protection of that national airline. But before we do that, that committee cannot attract investors. We need to spend money to get a reputable organization to do the speed work, prepare a report, and talk to investors that we want to participate in the program, not a committee in place. Again, this is the Wazota report concerning how Nigerian Airways was looted. You go and bring that report and let's recover some funds and bring back into the government traffic. That might be okay. And finally, pay all Nigerian Airways staff before you start. There are other liabilities of in other countries. So if the government puts their hand, those countries are waiting for that airline owned by the Nigerian government, because Airways left some liabilities and those liabilities are hanging somewhere.
It will not be owned by Nigerian government. Thank you very much. We have been chatting with the Vice President at SAN, which is the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Mr. Amadu Iditris, who spoke to us from Abuja, Mr. Yemi Dada, who is Acting Executive Secretary, Airline Operators of Nigeria, as well as Mr. Olumide Onwayo, who's an aviation practitioner. Thank you all very much for coming to share your insights with us. And we just wish this committee luck, and we hope that we will see a Nigerian airline that we will all be proud of in time.
In time too. We'll be back. Please don't go away.